He was imprisoned for the same ideology, Ibn Taymiyyah. That time, Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah ta'ala, it was not security reasons of the government that he was arrested for. He was arrested for people who were in charge did not like what he was propagating. He was pushing for certain fatwas that he believed was the truth, rahimahullah ta'ala. And some of them were misconstrued. I see it myself. When I give a lecture and I travel, people say, oh, you said this. No, I didn't say that. You misunderstood me. And it's very common for people to misunderstand what you're saying, and then to attach that to you and make that your opinion. So his statements got misconstrued a lot, Ibn Taymiyyah, and so because of that he got imprisoned. And rumors were made about him, rahimahullah. A lot was based on false beliefs. Like for example, that he doesn't like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he doesn't like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he said that somebody should not purely travel just for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's grave. Yes, when you go to Medina, so you should travel to the Prophet's masjid. That should be your intention. And once you're there, of course, go visit the Prophet's grave. That's what he said. But you don't travel for the Prophet's grave. You travel for the masjid, and then when you're there, you go to the grave. Because this is called ziyarah. And if you intend to go to the Prophet's grave from a far place, now this is called shaddur rihal. And he said this is not allowed because of the statement of the Prophet ﷺ, which is what? لا تشد الرحال إلا إلى ثلاثة مساجد. Do not travel except to 3 masjids. So are we allowed to travel to a place to get closer to Allah by it, other than these 3 places? No. Again, look what I mentioned. To get closer to Allah, you can only travel to these places to get closer to Allah. Of course, if you want to travel to a country, and of course you're not trying to get closer to Allah by going to London or going to back home. So this statement, without looking at, as he said it, rahimahullah ta'ala, it was misconstrued. So they said, oh, he doesn't like people going to visit the Prophet's grave. And he wasn't against the concept of visiting the grave. It was traveling specifically for the grave. So things like that were taken out of context. Even lies were made about him. Pure lies. Example is Ibn Battuta, rahimahullah, may Allah forgive him and forgive us all. He mentions in his rihla, his journey, that Allahu Alam, did he say that or did it get put in his book? We don't know, but he mentioned that Sheikh-ul-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, that Ibn Battuta mentioned that he came to Dimashq in his book. And he said, when I came to Dimashq, I saw Ibn Taymiyyah on the pulpit standing and giving a reminder. And he said he was talking about Allah descending, Allah coming down. And he said Allah comes down from the sky down the way I'm now coming down from my pulpit. If you look at the history, the time Ibn Battuta entered Dimashq was the time Ibn Taymiyyah was in prison. So a lot was made against him. Lies were made about him, and people benefited from it. Another thing Ibn Taymiyyah did without a shadow of a doubt is that Ibn Taymiyyah, he came and he unearthed, he brought out from the ground so many mistakes and shortcomings that people were taking as a normal way. Humans, if they start doing things, this becomes normal for them, right? And later, if somebody brings them something else, they're like, no, we've never seen that before. This is new. Just because you're used to this, it doesn't mean it's right. Maybe for many generations, you've just kept onto this mistake. And that's that same argument that the non-Muslims, Quraysh, was saying, إِنَّا وَجَدْنَا آبَاءَنَا عَلَىٰ أُمَّةٍ وَإِنَّا عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمْ مُقْتَدُونَ. We found our forefathers upon this, and we're going to stick to what our forefathers are upon. Rather than saying, what is it exactly that you have against us? Proof, evidences, let's discuss it. So he dealt with too many groups. Ibn Taymiyyah was head-on, collision with so many different groups. So he dealt with the Shia, he dealt with the Ash'ariyah, he dealt with the Sufiya. Sheikh-ul-Islam Taymiyyah authored so much on just about every group in Islam. And he wrote what's for them and what's against them. Okay? And this, of course, people don't like. Yeah, you wake up so many people. So he woke up so many people, rahimahullah ta'ala.